Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chaos in the Valley, the spring kickoff for the Demolition Derby season here in the Shenandoah Valley. Excited to have all of you along with us. Looks like the drivers' meeting is breaking up. The call has gone out for the youngsters to report to their entries. Power Wheels just about ready to get going. Glad to have all of you along with us, and once again, welcome to the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds. On deck today, we're going to have the Power Wheels, the compacts, the lawnmowers, the SUVs, the stocks. The weld class is going to be a busy afternoon. Together, the compacts totaling close to 50 cars, 2 qualifying heats for those. The rest of the balance of the day is going to be held in the typical one and done format stock cars. We've got about 15 of them. We've got another dozen and a half or so of mod cars. Got about 10 of the trucks, which are actually all SUVs, just about all of them coming in as Ford Explorers. Some great names also out there that we're going to be seeing through the course of our afternoon. Some of the top drivers from up and down the East Coast making the trek here to be part of Chaos in the Valley. The spring show last year won by Jason Koch. He is not in the pits right now. A gentleman that is returning to the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds here to be part of this show. We've got Mike Klinger signed in that number 409. You'll see him out here in the mod class. David Whittemeyer, he's going to be in the stock division. He's in the purple and white Imperial at the far end of the track. He won in the stock division at the fair, had a great run at Chaos in the Valley in October. Josh Orndorff, he's in the Army Green number J12 with the teeth painted on the side of that ride. He's going to be in action here in the mod class. So just about ready to get the Power Wheels. Once we get them lined up, we're going to turn the microphone over to Katie Gentry, who's going to entertain us with her musical stylings of the national anthem. So I want to get those Power Wheels moved out into position on the starting grid, and we will get the show on the road. Is that Mark Wolf down there, our official for the Power Wheels? Yep, you want to pull them out on the line, get the Power Wheels out on the line, and then we'll do the national anthem? So the Power Wheel is going to come out here quick and stage, and then we will do a national anthem and get this thing started. All right, looks perfect. So before we turn it over to Katie, before we do that, first and foremost, we would like to recognize all of the folks that are hanging out with us today that have or are currently serving in our armed forces. If you could all please stand up. We'd like to extend our appreciation for letting us do what we do here and keeping our freedom safe. Thank you. How about a nice round of applause for all those folks? Beautiful. So now if we could have everybody please stand up. We've got the national anthem on deck by Katie Gentry. Katie, take it away.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Katie. Great job as always. Looks like we are just about ready to turn our Power Wheels crew loose. After the Power Wheels, we'll move into the lawnmowers. Then we'll have the 2 rounds of qualifying for our compact division. Just real quick, we're going to lay down a little bit of water on the track to slow that surface down for when the compacts get out there. That's one of the biggest things about the compacts. They don't have a ton of horsepower, but they're so light. When they get those tire combinations like they've got, they can gain a ton of speed in a hurry, which we're all here to see. We want to see those cars get turned inside out, but of course we want to do it in a safe manner. We've all got jobs to get back to come Monday. So final instructions being given to all of our Power Wheels competitors. Give these kids a few minutes to knock around a little bit down there on the front stretch in front of this great crowd here gathered together for Chaos in the Valley, the spring edition. We are going to be back here again in the fall. Date on that, October the 20th. That is always an awesome show. We're going to have some more information for you coming here in a little bit on payouts, what we're paying each of our divisions. Each of the main classes are paying $2,000 to win at the minimum. Checking with official Stacy down there. Are we all good to go? I wish they had demolition derbies for Power Wheels when I was a kid. That would have been the absolute best. Looking for the all clear from our officials. Are we good to go? Are we? Everyone's leaving. Stacy, we ready to go? All right, folks, this is how they get their derby appetite started right here. Help us out if you would. Let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2. 2, 1, and go. Power Wheels off and running with the official start of Chaos in the Valley, the fall show. Ready to get this thing started. Out there in that number 8, that is Carson Whelan from right here in Woodstock. The 21 is Bentley Funkhauser, also from Woodstock. Coming in from Grottos in the number 4 is Landon Evers. Robert Buckshot Dreyer is in the number 4X. Derby Joseph is in the number 53. He's from Dayton. Mackenzie Kibler in the 00. Pretty much everybody from here on out is from Woodstock. Matthew Kingery Jr. is in the 212 Junior from Woodstock. Mason Kingery in the 212 Shorty. Julia Motes is driving the number 76 from Wires Cave. Chad Kuykendall Jr. from Woodstock is in number CJ. Levi Price from Tom's Brook is out there as well. Bryce Rexroad from Wires Cave is aboard the number 8. Driving the number 94 is Trenton Mitchell from Woodstock. From Jonestown, Pennsylvania, in the number 32, that's Rosalie Smith. Caden Green from Woodbridge is out there. And rounding out the field, Madison Wilkins from Tom's Brook in the number 19X. That entry coming out of the Cardiac Arrest Racing Stables. Love seeing those Power Wheels out there. Gets these kids interested, gets them a chance to knock around and get a feel for it. And once they're hooked, generally they are hooked for life. They've always wanted to have that opportunity to get out there. See so many pictures online of folks sharing images of the Power Wheels cars being built side by side with the big cars in the garage. It's a great bonding opportunity for the parents and the kids. As Demolition Derby proving time and time again that it is very much a family sport. And this extending that theory very effectively. We see the number 410 getting a little bottled up. Some of the places that we've been with Demolition Derbies, they tape balloons to the Power Wheels so that they have actual elimination, so to say. Another good hit lined up by the number 8. Goes right after that right front corner. Great shot placement. That is Carson Whelan. Great shot placement. Going after those steer tires. We were out here a couple of years ago and we saw one of the fire trucks that was in action, the Power Wheels fire truck, basically the equivalent to being the Imperial of Power Wheels Demolition Derby. It's one of the most gnarly Power Wheels vehicles that was ever produced, almost like they knew that someday it was going to be used in that manner. It's got a big rod that goes from the front bumper to the back bumper, makes it a little bit more heavy, stout, reinforced. Behind that, as we see one of them out there, the Gravedigger Ride. That is another one of the more coveted Power Wheels Derby cars of choice, sort of falling in line, I suppose, behind if we're pairing them side by side with the big cars. The fire truck being the Imperial, perhaps the Gravedigger Ride falling in line as one of the roundbacks that we've also see so popular in Demolition Derby. And then behind that, you've got the F-150s. And the Avalanches or the Escalades. We see a couple of those out there as well. Sort of taking the spot to continue the comparison along the lines of a mid-70s GM, like a Riviera or two-door, four-door Caprices, Buick Electras, things along those lines. In terms of their car choice, there's a good-looking run by the Wrangler. It's that number 4, Landon Evers from Grottos, putting a good shot on the drive tires. Bentley Funkhauser in that number 21 has a Jeep Wrangler on steroids. That thing is really beefed up. There's a company out of Minnesota that builds specialty parts for Power Wheels, and they've branched out to include production of different bolt-ons and aftermarket items that you can spruce up your Power Wheels for Demolition Derby. They have aftermarket rear ends, different tire combinations, different motors and things along those lines that help it go a little bit faster and be a little bit more exciting for the kids that get to drive in these. They also sell stretch kits so that you can lengthen the frame on the Power Wheels, which would then allow adults to ride in them. And yes, we've seen adult Power Wheels Demolition Derbies. They had one at the San Filippo Smash here a couple years ago up in Morris, New York, which was pretty cool. One of the neat things about the Power Wheels company, they have a really good parts program. So if you happen to want to get into Power Wheels Demolition Derby, but you don't want to invest the money in buying a new one, generally you don't have to. If you can find one on the side of the road that's got a particular problem, if you can diagnose it and get Power Wheels on the phone, generally if you tell them about it, they'll send you the part that you need in order to get that back up and running. Pretty nice customer service advantages there. After the Power Wheels wrap up, we're going to get the lawnmowers out there. Looks like we've got about 10 lawnmowers. It is required that everybody running in the Power Wheels does wear a helmet, just in case one of them does get up on top of one of the other Power Wheel competitors' entries, or the things do tip over. And yes, they do tip over. We've seen a couple of them go right back on the back bumper. And when the kid went over backwards, he stayed in the car, stiffened up, and ended up pressing on the pedal exceptionally hard and did a wheel stand on his back, bouncing the back bumper off the ground. It was pretty exciting to see. Looks like we've got one casualty out there, the blue Ford, all done. Some places we go, these here's the rules that we've got at Chaos in the Valley. Pretty OEM, they can't do a whole lot to these. Other places we go, they modify them quite a bit, which lends itself to some of the electrical challenges that we see. We've seen motors short out, batteries short out. We've also seen a couple of these things even go so far as to catch on fire because of those electrical issues that you run into. But right now, everybody's staying pretty safe. Headlights were knocked out of that number 94. Kind of cool. Trenton Mitchell from right here in Woodstock turns around, gets a good run on that number 4 of Landon Evers. Number 76, Julia Motes, comes around, tracks down Carson Whelan, puts a shot on the drive tires. So now what we need is all the drivers to go down towards turn number 4, and we're going to line up in a straight line and run it down and find out who our winner is going to be. This is how we finish the Power Wheels down here at Chaos in the Valley at all the shows. They line them up after they knock around for a little while, and all the cars that are still able to run will line up and do a race down the front stretch, and the first one to pass our official that's stationed halfway down the front stretch or a little bit further will be deemed our overall winner of the Power Wheels Derby. Got Jason Shipe taking his spot, giving him a long runway. And now all of our Power Wheels competitors starting to get staged and ready to go. So lawnmower drivers are on deck. You should be over with your mowers. After that, we're going to have the first qualifying round for the compacts. Good race for the lead right now. That number 8 is charging. It's a 3-horse race, getting some contact, bumping and rubbing. The 76 trying to defend that top spot. The Gravedigger ride out in front. Looks like the number 8 also running it down from behind. Gravedigger going to come away with the win. Second place to the 8, third to the number 76. 76. Julia Motes coming in third. The number 8, Carson Whelan, coming in second. And the Gravedigger entry, which I'm still not 100% sure who's in that Gravedigger ride, but coming away with the win is that Gravedigger entry. How about a big round of applause as we get our lawnmowers ready to come out there for all of our Power Wheels competitors. Well, now that everybody's had a shot to see what everybody else has in terms of our drag race, we're going to re-rack them and run them one more time. Hopefully everybody gets a more even start this time through. All the parents positioned at the finish line. Make sure you take a couple steps back off that finish line so they don't stop before they cross. So parents, make sure when those cars approach, again, take a few steps back. Sticks are up at the finish line. Looks like we are just about ready to turn those Power Wheels racers loose once more. A couple quick starting line adjustments for the driver of that number 212. That is one of the Kingery rides. Green flag flies over the Power Wheels. Again, the Gravedigger car jumps out to a big lead right off the bat. This time the 76 having a hard time tracking down our leader. Number 8 jumping up into second place. Power ailing in that blue Ford. Number 8 is Carson Whelan, starting to run down the leader, holding on for a second place finish behind the Gravedigger ride. Third place going to that blue Ford in our second race. Similar outcome though. First place goes to the Gravedigger ride. Second place goes to Carson Whelan. And the unnumbered blue Ford coming away with third place in our second race. trying to put some heat in the motors over there, or possibly checking on a timing carburation issue. As we hear one of our full-size competitors spool up the motor. Another big hand as they make their final approach back to the pits for all of our Power Wheels competitors. Thanks a lot for supporting the kids. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat if you've never seen one before. Up next, the Lawnmower Demolition Derby. It is a ton of fun to watch. We've got about 10 of them ready to come out and participate. Tyler Wolf is going to be out there in the 00X entry. Wes Motes from Linville is going to be in the number 10. James Stewart in the unnumbered entry. He's from right here in Woodstock. Olivia Marshall from Mount Jackson will be aboard the number 44. Andrew Marshall will be in the number 39. He's from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Matthew Taman, coming in from Hollywood, Maryland, is in the number 27. William Taman from Hollywood as well in the number 91. And the three competitors from Nelson County driving the number 80 is Diane Russell. The number 9 is Josh Taman. And Christopher Taman is in the number 40. So ready to welcome our lawnmower competitors to the track as we finish up victory lane photographs here on the front stretch for our Power Wheels racers. Lawnmower rules here align pretty well with the lawnmower rules all across the United States. Pretty similar to each of the other events. The most extreme lawnmowers that we see are at the Bash for Cash. They're basically dumpsters on wheels. They've got giant side panels, extended cockpits, such the like. So those are a little bit more extreme. But in terms of what we see here, rollovers, they generally try to let them back on the mower once, so long as it doesn't stall. Some places we go, they're not allowed to run a battery once they get them started. The battery has to be unhooked. So at that point, if the mower does stall, it won't be able to refire, generally just for a time thing, because some of these lawnmowers do have some durability and longevity. They can run quite a while out there with those little tiny carburetors. They kind of sip the fuel. Some places we go, they are limited on how much fuel they're allowed to run. So a couple different options depending on what part of the United States you're in along those lines. Here, though, in terms of the build specs, what they can do in terms of driver protection, keeping the thing running, switching the pulleys around so that they can get more RPM, and what they're allowed to run in terms of what mowers are permitted and what mowers are disallowed. Pretty much the same as every place else that you would go. Tyler Wolf again in the 00X from Basie. Wes Motes in the 10. James Stewart, Olivia Marshall in the 44. Andrew Marshall in the 39. Matthew Taman in the 27. William Taman in the 91. Diane Russell in the 80. Josh Taman in the 9. Christopher Taman in the number 40. Looking at the rundown, I think it's safe to say that there might be some people running together. We'll have to see how it all plays out. And the first one to move, number 9, Josh Taman. He is in the black and yellow colors. Up next in the John Deere colors is that number 27, Matthew Taman. The 44, the blue colors now, pulling out Olivia Marshall. There's the number 91. Powder blue colors with orange bars on the side, running without a hood. That is the number 91 of William Taman, the number 40 next in line. Christopher Taman, black, looks like that's a black MTD with a yellow 40 on the roof. It's number 10, black with green colors, Wes Motes. The 00X, Tyler Wolf, also wearing John Deere green and yellow. And the number 39 of Andrew Marshall. So sticks are up. Help me out if you would. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go for the lawnmowers. First impact happening in the center of the track with the Flat Rock ride, number 44, Olivia Marshall. And after that shot, having trouble getting it into gear. Big thing in lawnmowers is go after the steer tires. Big impact, center of the track. The number 27 comes up out of his seat. Matthew Timon running nose to nose with that beefy number 10 of Wes Motes. After that shot in the middle of the track to open up our competition, Olivia Marshall having trouble trying to rock that thing free, and we've got a red flag with one over on its side. Number 9, Josh Taman, able to knock over the Craftsman. I'm not sure who it was. Tough break for Olivia Marshall, all done exiting on the number 44. And officials are ready to go. 3, 2, 1. Green flag is out. So the gentleman that got rolled over was Christopher Timon in that number 40, able to continue. Almost had another one go over. That was the number 80, Diane Russell. Almost put it over on its side. She's got the Craftsman out there. Here comes a big run by that number 27, Matthew Taman. Big impact center of the track. Those old John Deeres, those are preferred. That is an early edition John Deere too. You can tell by the way the hood flaps loose there, where the hinge points are. Very, very old, and almost all of that ride is made out of pressed tin, so pretty sturdy. No plastic hood or cowling effects on that one. Starting to use all the track they got. Struggles now for the number 9 developing. Josh Taman having trouble getting that car to refire. Also the 00 of Tyler Wolf having some problems in the center of the track. Sounds like Tyler Wolf is running, but it lacks drive. There's a small shadow hanging underneath that. I wonder if one of those shots has knocked the belt off and he's lost drive. Also the number 9 struggling to get a forward gear, and he is off and running. So now the shot clock is on the 00 of Tyler Wolf as the battle rages. The number 80 now in trouble. That is Diane Russell, able to get back going. I think that is it for the 00X, all done. One of our competitors making the long push back to the trailers. We start to see some smoke now developing on that number 39, Andrew Marshall. I believe the gentleman who did not start was James Stewart. Little hiccup there for Wes Motes in the number 10 in that the black and green mower at the top of the track. They just took a huge shot right on the bumper from that number 27, Matthew Timon. If Matthew could have changed the angle a little bit, he might have been able to get underneath that bar and take out one of those front drive wheels, or one of those front steer wheels. And we see the number 91 now of William Taman, bottled up a little bit on the number 10. Here comes a big run once again by that number 27 of Matthew Taman. Really wheeling it out there in the number 27. Smoke now pouring out from under the hood. The smoke has now stopped from the number 39, and now also the smoke stopping on that number 27. Generally bad to see smoke out of those small engines. But right now the number 39 not really showing any ill effects. The 10 out there, again, that is Wes Motes. He is idle in the track, and after he frees himself from the clutches of the number 27, everybody able to continue. So the number 80, Diane Russell, circling around trying to get a run on somebody, can't find anybody, and runs into the number 39. Number 39, another one of the members of the Flat Rock Derby team you're going to be hearing about off and on through the course of the night, Andrew Marshall. Hear a collective groan from everybody in the stands. as those folks come together out there. Number 27 again with a big hit. Matthew Timon going for the Mad Dog Award out there and doing a good job at it. Great shot placement on that left front corner by the number 39 of Andrew Marshall. On the 27 of Matthew Taman. So far, attrition, we've only lost 3. Still 6 to go. 9 of the 10 scheduled. We're able to answer the bell for this one and done for the Lawnmowers. Running it down to the last mower standing. As we see the number 40 of Christopher Taman with a good shot. Moments ago, he's got a black mower with a yellow number 40 on the hood. Looks like Diane Russell and that number 10 of Wes Moats might be stuck together. The nose on Diane's number 80 dipping down quite a ways. Back tires look like they're only barely scuffing the top of that very hard track surface. You can see that not a whole lot has been done to the surface with these mowers running on it, so that's a good sign of things to come. Even with all the rain that we've had, track still nice and tight. It's going to be hard. All sorts of grip in that surface. William Timon was in danger of going over. He's in that blue and orange mower with no hood on the front, number 91. He got hit T-bone style and started to put a pretty good lean on it, but he was able to keep it upright. Sounds like another one of our competitors may have stalled. Number 10, Wes Moats, fighting for all he can. Got that refired and is still out there running and moving. You can see he's got those twin stacks poking out of the hood of his number 10. Diane Russell able to refire the number 80 and still running and moving. Watching now the number 39. 39 having some trouble. Andrew Marshall trying to get himself unhooked, and he is all done. Trying to get himself freed. You can see the back bumper. The two bumpers are hung together. Number 39 has been shut off. Ends Andrew Marshall's run. Now the number 10, Wes Moats, looking around trying to find his way free as we see the number 27 also in the middle of the track. That is Matthew Timon, who was running as the Mad Dog a little bit earlier, struggling to get it to go into gear, so we could be down to our last 3. And the 27 steps away. Matthew Timon all done in the John Deere ride. That leaves us with 3. On the clock is the number 10 of Wes Moats. Trying to get himself freed, and he's got some room now, got some space. Trying to push himself off, but the mower keeps rolling backwards on him. Nose has been ripped off of Diane Russell's number 80. Still out there running and moving. The number 40 left out there, Christopher Taman, and the number 91 of William Taman as they continue to go at it. I think the number 10 out on time at this point. The officials have taken their attention off of the number 10. And that'll do it. Yep, officially now the number 10 goes in the books. 4th place overall with 3 still to go. It's the number 80, Diane Russell. The number 91 of William Taman and Christopher Taman. In the number 40. You notice those big pipes they put on the side? That is expressly for safety. Being that the lawn mowers, all sides are driver's sides, and you see in regular demolition derby, not allowed to hit the driver's side door. This case, all the sides are driver's side doors, so they put those on there for safety and make sure that nobody gets their feet entangled in an oncoming shot. And as we said before, you get little bit further west of here over in Ohio, they have these giant side plates. They go just about up to the driver's shoulders. They can see out the front, but these side plates on both sides and encasing the backside of the driver gets a little bit more extreme than what we see here today. I like this type of lawnmower demolition derby. You can still see stuff get bent and twisted, as evidence on the nose of Diane Russell's number 80 as she puts a good lick on the right rear corner of William Timon's number 91. Stout nose-to-nose blow right there as the number 40, Christopher Timon, goes into that number 80. You'll see that every now and again, especially on the ones with standard transmissions. The hydrostatics don't have quite as much snap in them as what some of these with regular shifters do. The number 9's been out a while. I'm not really sure what he's doing. They've shut him back down. Number 9, Josh Timon, came out and put a shot on that number 91, and that is unfortunate. That ill-timed blow afterwards. Now the number 91 of William Timon isn't moving, standing up in the seat, trying to see what's going on with the power plant in the number 91, able to get it refired now. He's back in the fray. Got a long run and a head full of steam coming at the number 80, Diane Russell. Working together to take that number 40 all the way back to the blocks. Christopher Timon now able to battle out of that jam. Gave a little bit of space for Diane Russell to get turned around. Drives right into that shot. She's now trying to fight a little bit to get that back in gear. As we were talking about, the hydrostatic transmissions don't have quite as much snap, even after they swap the pulleys back and forth. And they put the front pulley on the top of the transmission and the transmission pulley on the bottom of the motor to get more ground speed. Those standard shift transmissions, when they jam them in gear and they let off the clutch after they tighten up the bands and everything, they can pop wheelies and get right up, pull the front tires up into the air. We're down here a couple years ago, we saw a guy who was popping, and the number 91 got knocked off and it's still in gear. He's going to have to run that thing down. It drove right into the blocks. Quick red flag stoppage. Now we are back underway. So we were saying a couple years ago we were down here and they were popping wheelies. And one got up so high it landed on the hood of another one of the competitors, which was kind of unique. I hadn't seen that before. See a little bit of that wheel hop that we were talking about out of that number 40 of Christopher Timon from Nelson County. Still out there also William Timon in the number 91 from Hollywood, Maryland, and Diane Russell in that number 80 also from Nelson County. Big nose-to-nose impact right there. See a couple of these builders opting to go with a much smaller back tire, like you see on the number 40 of Christopher Timon, versus others electing to go with a regular size rear tire. Much like what you see on the number 39 of Andrew Marshall. That's the orange number 39. And looks like we may have lost the number 80. Diane sitting idle in the middle of the track, not doing anything. At the helm of her number 80, lost power, so she looks like she's all done. And also looks now like the number 40 can't get it to go into gear. We may be down to our last one standing. Coming around in the number 91. That might be the winning hit right there. William Timon from Hollywood, Maryland. Now it's just a matter of time. Number 80 is all through. Waiting to see the official word on track. Checkered flag in hand for one, Jason Shipe. And there it is. Checkered flag flies over William Taman in the number 91. Towing in from Hollywood, Maryland. Congratulations to William. Second place going to go to the number 40, Christopher Taman. Third place overall will be the number 80 of Diane Russell. Great run for the lawnmowers. Up next is the qualifying rounds for the compacts. 2 heats planned for the small cars. We have 23 cars on track. For compact heat number 1, it is going to get congested in a hurry. Ben Myers from Sumerduck, number 52. John Young from Basie in the number 83. Castleton's Dead and Hit will be in the number 21. Mike Kurtscheit in the number 187. Number 187. Scheduled to be out there as well. Chad Palmer from Front Royal in number 377. Mike Smith from Shenandoah in the 30. Daniel LeBlanc in the 00002. Paul Gary is going to be aboard the number 13 from Fetlow, Delaware. Tanner Cloud and Walker Cloud in the 29 and the 18. They're both from Stanley. There is the number 30. Michael Smith. Chad Palmer in the number 37. The 187 out there as well. Jesse Clark is out there in the 4430 from Edinburgh. Austin Paynes from Manassas. Wayne Mahoney from Bentonville in the number 83X. Bill Witt is in the number 07 from Bluegrass. Trevor Kibler of the popular Kibler Derby family from right here in Woodstock is in the 002. Mike Snyder from Northeast Maryland in the number 500. Chop Alan Schaefer from Front Royal out there as well. Kyle Turner from Unionville is in the number 66. Devin Armstrong is in the number 25X. Travis Hogan, the number 91X. William Crook from Knoxville, Maryland, in the number 64. As we get everybody staged and ready to go. Number 83X, Wayne Mahoney, in the purple and blue colors, trying to get himself staged. Wayne Mahoney brought all of his fan club. We hear them cheering for us. Almost got too many cars to line up across the track in this fashion. I would not want to be staged if they have to do a third row. It is going to get tight out there. Number 21 having some trouble firing up over there in the pit area. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to answer the call. We see the number 91X stage, Travis Hogan from Remington, trying to determine where exactly he is going to be able to fit as they try and wedge 23 cars out here, parking lot style, for the start of our first qualifying round. So unlike what we saw earlier, if you're not familiar with Demolition Derby, this is a qualifying heat just like you would see a qualifying heat anyplace else in circle track racing. We're going to run this down until there's a particular number of cars left. Particular set number of qualifiers remaining. they will punch their ticket as automatic qualifiers to the feature. The rest of the cars, if there's anything left, they will be eligible to come back out a little bit later on in the consolation round for a second crack at making the feature field. Again, the main events for all three of the main divisions, our triple bill, if you will. $2,000 to win at the minimum for first place. The 0007, I believe that is Daniel LeBlanc. Or possibly so heat, steering, and CVs are going to be the order of the day. No rear-wheel drive compacts out there that I caught as they were pulling in. Most everybody is front-wheel drive at this point, so shots that are placed on the right front and left front corners flush on those drive wheels will be at a premium. You'll watch that strategy play out as we see the 831 electing to go against the wall versus wedging in next to the number 6 of David Rankin. 831 Brad Kelly. And that is the number 25, still trying to find room for himself. Looks like we are all set to go. Sticks are up around the track. First qualifying round ready to take flight. Ladies and gentlemen, help me out if you will. Let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Green flag is out. Suicide start. Look at that. Full track all the way down. Quick carnage being delivered. Rankin takes a big shot from Chop. That's Alan Schaefer. Almost a rollover. And we're going to have I figured we would see a red flag here pretty quick. There is a bumper left on the track. You see the 007 of Daniel Blank driving over the top of it. And as we said, that water was just to keep the dust down. My goodness, they have got some momentum built up already. Got one over. Red flag's out. You're waving the red flag. You're in. Throw the red flag. And our driver is out. Going to try and roll that back over onto its wheels. And there it goes. That was the number 187. Mike Wiles from Chambersburg, PA climbs right back in. We'll see if he can get it fired up. There's another bumper out there in the middle of the track if anyone wants to grab it, right next to that number 83. Make sure that doesn't get caught by one of our front-wheel drive vehicles and spin that up into a window. Looks like the 83X is all done. Wayne Mahoney sitting idle in the blue and purple colored car over here off towards turn number 1. Red flag conditions still out. Number 10. Driver of that number 10 ride exiting the car. Sticks are up around the track. Short countdown if you would. 3, 2, 1, and go. Mike Wiles with a head full of steam. Big shot in the center of the track. What an impact that was. Really ringing the bell of the number 18. Tanner Cloud. What an impact that was. Front and center. Middle of the track with a huge impact. And now those cars are hung together. One of the flatline cars able to refire. That is the 425. I think that might be Devin Armstrong in that number 425. Huge shot delivered on the back of that black and orange ride. And start to see a little bit more attrition now as we reach some of the midpoint of qualifying round number 1. Ben Myers still out there running, moving to the number 52X. We see the number 91X, Travis Hogan, out there still running under power. The 4430 backing away and still in the game, Jesse Clark. Paint trade ride just got taken right to the blocks by the number 66, Kyle Turner. And Kyle Turner now packing that wagon in. Number 83, looks like the right side's coming apart for him. That's John Young. Big head of steam from the 00. 007. I believe it's Daniel LeBlanc. Great shot placement. That'll probably eliminate the 377 with that blow on the right front corner. Chad Palmer. Right front corner, laid over hard, still keeping drive, but if that pulls out the rest of the way, he'll probably be idle. And problems developing now. It may have pulled out enough. Somehow, still keeps it running. Nice piece of driving, good build. Then number 500, knifing across the middle of the track, Mike Snyder going into the left front corner of the 91X. .425, as hard as they were driving, undone by the wall. Front bumper hung up on the blocks. The front tire is not touching the track any longer. And in danger of being counted out. Jason Shipe right in front. Sands running thin in the hourglass. Red flag is out. Red flag flying. Checkered flag in hand, so we have reached our threshold for qualifiers. Daniel LeBlanc qualifying. The number 30 qualifying as well, Michael Smith, with the looks of things. Our officials now conferring, trying to identify all of our qualifiers that are moving into the A main a little bit later on to go for the money. Checkered flag is out. Got to have the car stay on the track. We don't want anybody to leave in the event of missing someone who is a qualifier. John Young, flag waving over John Young and the 500 of Mike Snyder. That was the 25X Devin Armstrong qualifying. 4430 is in. Jesse Clark along with the 66, Kyle Turner. And the 377 able to limp it home into a qualifying spot. As we said, the number 30 is in. The 0007 is in. 52X qualifying. Hopefully we didn't miss anybody. So qualifying heat number 2 is on deck. We'll be back with that momentarily. Qualifying heat number 2 for the compacts back out onto the track. There's a good look at him. We'll let you know who we're going to see. The 666X, Travis Curtis from Adamstown, Maryland. Next out is that number 16X, Greg Alger, building a fresh car for this event in the O&W's towing ride. Number 17 out next, Greg D. Martin. Lydia Rankin from Manassas is in the X06. Greg D. Martin from Toronto, Ohio. Tristan Blasser in the number 51 from Luray, Virginia. Devin Rurark in the number 69 from Smithfield. Josh Wilkins from Thomas Brook in the number 11X. Andy Anderson in the 88 is from Norfolk. From Manassas, Hunter Billmeyer out there. From New Ringgold, Pennsylvania, in the number 11, that's Mike Schwalm. Keep your eyes on him. He is a really hard driver. A lot of fun to watch him. In the number R1 from Stanley is Joseph Williams. Dustin Breeden from Luray in the 611. Cheering section for Dustin in full song. Mark Wolf in the number 52 from Woodstock. C.K. Ray is in the 57-3 from Timberville. Sean Kibler in the 00 is from Woodstock. From McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania, the 22, that's Alex Keaton. Roger Mahoney, double duty today in the 30X. He's from Luray. Brian Davis in the 16 from Edinburgh. Chad Kuykendall from right here in Woodstock in the 31. Skip McClellan from Elkton in the 619. Scott Smith from Jonestown, Pennsylvania is in the number 32. Derek Delatorre from Fremont in the 229. And able to get his car fired after the issues that he suffered leading up to qualifying round number 1. Devin Hitt in the number 21. We'd like to get all the fire crew to come out onto the track as well, please. We get our fire staff to come out and join us in the center of the track as we see Mark Wolf pulling out there with that number 52 high atop his car. Let everybody get out there. Ladies and gentlemen, It's becoming a bit too regular in our trips down here to Shenandoah County to participate in Chaos in the Valley. But much like we did in the fall when we took a minute to recognize Dakota Marston, who was unfortunately taken away from us far too early, we're doing the same thing again. One of our competitors that's been a regular down here at the fair and participating with the Shipes and these benefits for Thomasbrook Volunteer Fire Department, Jonathan Showalter, was unfortunately taken from us far too soon in a car accident back on March the 2nd. Mark Wolf has his car here today, is running it in honor of Jonathan. Jonathan was a meaningful part of the Demolition Derby community down here. And as we said, we're doing this far too often. But we also said earlier today that Demolition Derby is much a sport as it is a family. And I would like all of you, please, to join us and rise and give a few moments of silence and tribute of Jonathan Showalter. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that. Please keep Jonathan and his family in your prayers. Well, the parking lot style start didn't quite work the way that we wanted, so we're going to do this Utah style now, where they get the cars going in a full circle before we turn them loose. Again, we are looking for 10 cars to qualify. Just about ready to go. We are all set. Ladies and gentlemen, help me out if you would. Let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Green flag flies over qualifying heat number 2. Ready to turn everybody loose. Big shots on deck here for the qualifiers of heat number 2. Ready to look for 10 cars to move into tonight's main event. A lot of real estate for those little compacts to use out there. Still in the early steps of this, the getting to know you stages of qualifying round number 2. Greg Alger, big shot delivered on that right front corner by Alger in the 16X. Another big lick handed out. Mark Wolf getting jammed into that number 52. Hopefully that car turns into one of those cars of destiny that we see at so many different derbies. Those tribute cars seem to defy all odds and make it to the main event. We'll see flakes flying off that number 88. Andy Anderson. Big shot from that number 51 handed out. Tristan Blasser. The 619 in the middle of the track, idle. Skip McClellan having some problems. Also the 229 idle at the far end of the track. Derek Delatorre from Fremont having some issues. Josh Wilkinson at number 11X. Trying to punch his ticket into the main event. Here comes that 666X. Travis Curtis The back end going away bad on that as he collides with that number 22 of Alex Keaton. We've seen Alex do very well down here, so we'll have to see if he can make it into tonight's main event and get into the money round. Mark Wolf, hip check type shot on that number 32. Gets it turned around, nose out, gets on the throttle. A little bit conservative compared to what we usually see out of Mark Wolf in that number 52. Monster shot delivered by the number 611. Dustin Breeden caved in the right side of that 415. Left rear wheel threatening to break off that number 611. We just talked about Dustin Breeden from Luray. Action fast and furious now, already seeing a high rate of attrition for the compacts out here in qualifying round number 2. X06, Lydia Rankin. All done. Left side came apart on that ride. The number 69 trying to get himself free. Hung up in the back of that 229. 229's been idle down there for a while. A little bit of a miscarriage there of justice. That 229 been idle a long time down here, since basically from the get-go. Able to work himself free. Number 69 out there. Dustin rear arc. Trying to break himself free. Here comes a 31 driving across the track. Elects to pass on the shot. Josh Wilkins keeping the nose clean, the back end out, running a defensive heat, trying to get into the main event in the number 11X. R1 still out there running and moving. That is Joseph Williams from Stanley. Great shot placement by Mark Wolf in that number 52. Goes right after that right front corner of a car that's already been ailing. Big shot, front and center. And buckled the back end of that 611 big time. Dustin Breeden shoved that left rear corner into the doors and it really moved the roof. And the 66X had a great shot lineup on Josh Wilkins. It was deferred though, as that number 32 came carving in. Scott Smith deflecting the shot, saving Wilkins as he knocked the 66X of Travis Curtis off his path of destruction. Derek Delator back in the mix in that number 229. And I think we should be seeing the red flag here pretty quick. Next car to fall will cap our heat. Looking for 10. We've got 11 running and moving right now. We're to our final car. And the green flag, the red flag will be shown, and checkered flag will wave. A lot of fluid coming out of the overflow for Wilkins and the number 11X. 66X still running and moving. The 22 at the far end of the track still in the mix as well. Alex Keaton, red flag is out. Red flag flying. That's going to do it. Going to establish some of our qualifiers now. Pretty confident Travis Curtis made it in that 66X. Josh Wilkins in the 11X, the 11 of Mike Schwam, I believe, also punching his ticket. Wilkins is going to make it. There he goes. We got the number 30, number 30X, Roger Mahoney. He's in. And the number 31, Chad Kuykendall. Car's a lot shorter than it was when he started, but he has qualified, and this will be popular right there. Mark Wolf for the 52 in the tribute car going to the main. R1 was in the middle of a dogfight. He's waiting to see if he has got a ticket to the feature. 229, Derek Delator from Fremont, PA, into the main event. The 11 of Mike Schwam from New Ringgold, PA, into the main. Taking the number 32, Scott Smith. The 6'11", Dustin Breeden is in the show. .611 took a lot of damage. Justin Breeden took a ton after that impact in the middle of the track. He's got a lot of work to do to clean up the back end of that. It folded for him all right, but it got ugly on that left rear corner. We're watching now. Here is that 666X, Travis Curtis from Adamstown. And the 22, Alex Keaton. Not sure if that 666X made it or not. I didn't see the checkered flag fly over him. Now the discussion is about that number R1 of Joseph Williams. Checkered flag in hand, and Joseph Williams will go. Well, there it is, your qualifier, 666X, Travis Curtis, Josh Wilkins in the 11X, Mike Schwam in the 11, the R1 of Joseph Williams, the 611 of Dustin Breeden, Mark Wolf in the 52, Alex Keaton in the 22, Roger Mahoney in the 30X, 31 of Chad Kuykendall, the 32 of Scott Smith, and the 229 of Derek Delator. SUVs coming out onto the track. The first one out is that number 72, Anthony Dellinger from Kieseltown. The number 911 is Steven Sickles from Uniontown, PA. The number 6L, Brian Andrews, he's from Mount Jackson. And the number 44, the badly bent entry from Grottos, that is John Breeden. The number 3X, BJ Silvius from Quicksburg. In the 00, Travis Kibler, he's from Luray. The 146, Dylan Lockwood. And the 620, that is Dennis Vidikax from Nokesville. And that is everybody. Looks like we are just about ready to turn them loose. Watching trackside. Are we good? We good to go? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Green flag out for the SUVs. Backing it all the way up to the blocks is Lockwood. He's going to turn this thing loose in a hurry. Keep your eyes on Lockwood. Right away with a big rollover. Red flag is out. The driver is moving around inside the cockpit, which is good to see. Red flag, red flag. Kibler's got to roll it down. Red flag. And our driver able to climb out under his own power. Brian Andrews from Mount Jackson in the number 6L. Lockwood's got to back it up so they can try and get this thing rolled back over. So what they're looking at right now, they're nosing around in the back end of that car. All of the fuel cells have been relocated inside the cockpit for safety. You don't want those things getting ruptured from some of these impacts that they have when the hits are on the back end. He's going to try and refire it. So they were looking to make sure that no fuel had spilled, that the fuel line didn't sever, or the fuel tank itself rupture in that rollover. As you can see, one of our officials down there on the wall very excited about the rollover, and unfortunately it looks like it won't refire. Too bad. How about another big hand for Brian Andrews at number 6L? So he is all done. That is going to leave us with 7. Looking for the last vehicle standing. We're going to do a quick countdown. Green flags are up around the track. Help me if you would. 3, 2, 1, and go. Back underway. Lockwood. He's about to have company, and he gets out of harm's way. Here comes Kibler. Huge shot, and it might have broke the drive shaft on the 620. And everybody idle now after that impact. Back here in the middle of the track, Lockwood still laying the hits. We might be down to 5. Sickles picked up a win earlier this year. Took his van that he was planning on running here at Chaos in the Valley in the fall of 2017, and after it had some ignition issues with that entry, ended up taking it down to Redneck Rumble, picked up a win with it. So he's looking to go 2 for 2 in 2018 with a win here. Lockwood having some trouble in the 146. Tough break. Drove the wheels off that thing for the short time that he was out there. We are now down to 4. Officials imploring the number 3X to make active contact. Here comes Sickles. 2-door Explorer, vehicle of choice for him. Backs into the nose of that number 72. That is the Toxic Chaos entry of Anthony Dellinger. Gnarly noises coming out from under the hood of John Breeden's number 44. And so far that number 3X, BJ Silvius. Patient and calculated pace for BJ in that number 3X. Bumper got up near the concrete but didn't get over the edge. And the number 72 stays in the hunt. Dellinger from Kieseltown. Bumper's off the front, so he's hitting with the front frame rails and the core support. And you can see that core support starting to twist a little funny, and doesn't look like the radiator has let loose as of yet. Again, looking for the last entry standing. Officials tell them they got to turn up the wick, but they don't want to be the reason why they take themselves out. That is one of the biggest things when you get down into those final positions where you're running for the money. You don't want to make a mistake and cost yourself a chance to finish in the cash. So right now, taking a little bit more of a deliberate pace. BJ Silvius representing the Flat Rock Derby team. Sounds like a transmission. Nope. Transmission might be slipping a little bit for that number 72, Anthony Dellinger. Still has all his faculties. Big shot delivered on the left rear corner. That knocked at least one tire flat. Big shot on that right rear. Sickles as he hits Silvius in that number 3X. And really working that over. The goal there was not to pop the tire, although it was a convenient aftershock. It was trying to break the axle with that impact. Red flag is out. Red flag being displayed. Going to collect some of the errant bumpers off the surface real quick. Then get back up to full speed. There's a good look for all the folks watching at home. BJ Silvius in the number 3X. Any BJ Silvius fans out there? A couple of them out there. Anybody pulling for Steven Sickles in the 911? One person. Number 44, John Breeden. He seemed pretty popular earlier. Anybody left rooting for him? His mom came. The number 72, Anthony Dellinger out there trying to refire as well in the black and pink entry. Looks like we are good to go. Going to do a quick countdown here. 3, 2, 1, and go. Unfortunately, it looks like that number 72 might be all done. Not a whole lot of activity inside the cockpit. I'm going to try and run this down to our last SUV standing. Sickles again looking to go 2 for 2 on the year, and feels like he's owed a little bit of good luck here in Woodstock after the issues he had with ignition on his van back here in October. And he's handing out the hits. Now he's picked off both of the right side tires on the number 3X. And now starting to work over that number 44. You can see the big dent in the rim on that number 3X. Now on that right side, the rim is bent on the axle itself. It's a stuffed tire, so it's not going to go flat. And be visually flat the way that you see on the right front corner of the number 3X. Sickles right now looks like he's in the best shape of the three. There's that noise again, that thunking noise coming out of that number 44. And now they're telling the 911 to hit the number 44, and he's going to oblige in not so rapid fashion. The number 3X, a Blazer. Number 911, a 2-door Explorer. Number 44, a 4-door Explorer. 3X BJ Silvius, he's from Quicksburg. Number 44, that is John Breeden from Grottos. And then the number 911 from Uniontown, PA, Steven Sickles. If memory serves correct, I believe Steven Sickles also came up with a notable run when he made the trip down to Florida, down in Brooksville, Florida, for the Florida Southern National Showdown a little bit earlier this year. So he's got a pretty good season coming together for himself, given that he's been running just about once a month since the start of the year. Looking to pick up win number 2 in the SUV class. Good shot, buckles that back end. You can see the leaf springs doing their job, keeping those rails up, but there's a lot of gap now between the top of the wheel opening and the wheels itself. Sickles with another big shot, broke the wheel clean off the right side. That drew some cheers from the crowd, and we got a fire developing underneath the number 44. I believe that is a leak in possibly in the transmission, or the front of the transmission is coming apart and it's allowing some fluid to leak out of the car. That's what's on fire. So that great shot delivered on the right rear corner. That was the shot that Sickles was looking for a little bit ago, and found the success this time through, breaking the wheel clean off the axle right at the housing. It was a good look at it, and it broke deep inside the housing too. And that is going to leave us down to 2. Number 44, John Breeden, in the 911 of Steven Sickles. Looks like we got a fire under the hood of the 3X now as well. Fire under the hood of the 3X. The officials see it. Trying to report quickly to that. Officials need to bring another fire extinguisher out there if you could, please. There we go. We got them behind you. They're on it. Fire crew doing a great job on top of things, juggling 2 duties at once. With where that fire was, it looks like maybe some oil had gotten down onto the exhaust manifold and lit up there. It wasn't anything that was a violent eruption or anything fuel like that. Minor fire under the hood of that 3X for BJ Silvius as we sit through this extended red flag for the issue under the hood of the number 44. Now the hood being opened up so that our fire crew can get another good, a little bit better vantage point on what's going on, as that looked like a leak issue right up near the firewall. We heard that clunking noise that was coming out of the midsection of that number 44, driven by, again, John Breeden. Looks like both hoods now are going to be opened up. Double checking that fire situation on the number 3X as we take a look at Steven Sickles. The hood and the core support pushed back a little ways. He's been getting underneath bumpers, which has its advantages and disadvantages. You get underneath bumpers, you can take out the bottom of the core support, take out the bottom of the radiator, knock all the water out of your competitor, which would then lead to heat issues as the temperature would rise inside the engine compartment, adding stress to that motor, hopefully making it overheat to the point where the metal swells and it shuts down completely. But the other issue is when you're going under bumpers, those bumpers are going over the top of yours, and it could subject you to the same fates as you see. The left side headlight area, fender, hood, and the core support shoved back quite a bit on the number 911. And Sickles now has exited his car, surveying the damage. So it looks like that is going to be somewhat of an anticlimactic conclusion to the trucks and vans feature. Sickles likely going to go into the book as the winner as they start to pick up the number 44. Dry chem fire extinguisher being discharged underneath there as they work on snuffing out the flames for good. Burning embers, molten pieces of transmission internals. Built up a lot of heat and pressure inside that transmission as they continue to try to snuff that fire out. So the issue is, will they let him continue? Will they let him get back into it and try and fire it up? If they've got some sort of leak issue or something terminal going on inside the transmission, trying to refire it and continue on is only going to put us right back in the same situation that we're at right now. So I have to see what officials elect to do in terms of the choices they give to John Breeden, as he hopes to turn the tables on Steven Sickles and come away with a win here in the Trucks and Vans SUV feature at Chaos in the Valley. Taking a good look now back inside the cockpit, officials reaching through, messing with some of the hoses, the lines that run inside the cockpit. A lot of times there's auxiliary transmission oil coolers mounted inside the cockpit. You've also got the fuel lines that are running along the floor right next to the transmission tunnel. You also see other cooling systems moved inside of there. A lot of times you also see fuel pumps relocated inside the fuel cell. A lot of them, it's mandatory here at Chaos in the Valley to have a metal fuel cell. Remember a couple years ago where we had some issues with plastic tanks rupturing, fracturing, breaking inside the cars and spilling fuel everywhere. That doesn't mean that the metal ones are a guarantee, though. Sean Gokenauer and Shane Hammond both having fuel cells, metal ones, crack the welds on the top of the tank. The cars were so hard it actually ripped the welds apart on their cars. I believe that was back in the first edition of Chaos in the Valley, back when we still had the stage on the infield here at the Fairgrounds. So track officials still conferring with fire crews. I believe at this point all of our drivers have left their vehicles, including Sickles in the number 911. Well, it would appear that we have reached a degree of finality with our SUV heat as the skid steer crews called into duty to escort the disabled vehicles back to the pit area. And I don't know if it could have come at a better time for Steven Sickles, that 911, struggling to get that car right now to fire. So at this point, it would appear, there he goes, now he's got it to start up. So he's going to be able to drive that screeching Explorer back to the pit area with what would appear is a unofficial win here in the SUV class at the Spring Chaos in the Valley. His second win in the truck and van division already this year, winning at Redneck Rumble with the van that he had planned on running here at Chaos in the Valley in the fall. So good run for Steve Sickles. Going to make for a easy drive back to Pennsylvania for him. Tough break for Travis Kibler in the 00. He came across the track with a vicious hit on Dennis Vidicak's, and after that both of them stayed right where they were. The shot, you can see now, dislodging the drive shaft on the number 620, so that was the reason why he sat idle. So we're going to be back here momentarily with the compact consolation round. Find him on the list. The number 64 is William Crook. The number 83X, coming out of heat number 1, that is Wayne Mahoney. Number 83, John Young. We've also got the 00 Sean Kibler that we talked about off and on through the course of the day. '64 looks like, after all, not going to be able to go. Something happened to the number 64 as he tried to come out. Tough break. All done. Looks like something major has broke on that number 64. Now here comes the number 83 of John Young. And the 00, that's Kibler. Sean Kibler in that one. The 831, Brad Kelly from Frederick, Maryland. And there's the 619. That's Skip McClellan from Elkton. Excited to get out here. The X06 of Lydia Rankin. There's the X06, Lydia's car. And next up, the number 17, Greg D. Martin from Toronto, Ohio. And the number 16, Brian Davis, coming out. It's one of those team flatline cars. And the number 83X, as we said. Wayne Mahoney, the number 18. Walker Cloud. And the 619 looks like he has pulled out as well. So we are all set to go. Help me out again, if you would, looking for our last qualifiers to add to the feature field. Let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Green flag out for the Consi cars. Typically quick work. Backing way up is Sean Kibler, and Young also coming to the far end of the track, looking to get a head full of steam. Keep your eyes on the 00. Wide open, full track shot. Huge shot. Gets both the 13 and that number 83X. The 83X, again, that is Wayne Mahoney, and the 13, Paul Gary. Both of them taking a shot. Kibler on a mission. Gets a hold of the flatline car. Big shots being delivered left and right by that number 00. Still have everybody running and moving out there so far. Red flag is out. Red flag being shown. Making sure everything's all right there for the entry driven by Chop from Front Royal, Alan Schaefer. Back end rolling up for him pretty nicely. But things going awry under the hood. You can see some steam coming out, and that hood has buckled quite a bit. Pushing back a little, and stick is down on Chop's ride. His efforts at the 2018 Spring Chaos in the Valley event are all through. He's not going to make it to tonight's championship round. We're going to clear a bumper off the track quickly, and we will be back underway here in just a minute or two. Driver number 17 exiting his car. Driver of the day 31 out of his ride. So attrition starting to stack up now as we look to add the final names to the list here. Looks like we are just about set to get going. We're going to go with a short countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. Whoa, a lot of sparks inside the cockpit of that X06. Lydia Rankin had a shower of sparks, and now she's sitting idle. Right front wheel has locked up on her ride. Great shot placement, caving in the right front corner. Kibler, the nose barely moved on it. Kibler almost goes over now in the 00. Is that 83X of Mahoney crashes into the right rear corner of the 00, and that is not the attention that you want to get for yourself from Kibler. Left front tire is flat. Going after the right front corner again on the number 83. Driving hard across the track is Sean Kibler, trying to make it into the feature event. Backs it up again. Steam now pouring out from under the hood. Nose is strong on that one. Caves in the right rear corner of the Mahoney ride. Chasing him down into the corner. Running this down deep. Look at how much damage was taken by the number 83. The number 00 of Kibler now sits idle. Left front tire peeled off the bead. 2 cars left running still. Did he do enough to make it into the main? Now digging deep as the rim digs into the track. The tires shoved way up into the back seat area, almost to the passenger side seat. And the red flag flying. Now the moment that we've been waiting for, who is going to get those qualifying spots. Walker Cloud in the number 18. Sean Kibler in the 00. And the 83X gets a ticket as well. Wayne Mahoney. Brian Davis, also in the number 16, makes it in. 1968 Galaxy. There it is, number 27, Dylan Baker. First one to pull out behind him. That is the number 58, Bronson Bogan from Franklin, West Virginia. Ronnie Hinkle from Edinburgh in the number 6. Number 441, Brandon Marston. Popular driver. And the number 20 next in line, James Gress from McConnellsburg. There's the number 81 next in line, Kenny Critchfield. The number 69. I believe that is Bill Boyce in that one. The number 11, that is Mike Schwalm. There's the number 46, Gary Breeden out there. That's the Imperial that we were telling you about right there, front and center. Whitmire in the number 59, one to watch. (11P) Stephen Payne answering the bell. Number 77, James Spain. Number 73 is Andrew Myers. The 67 is Kevin Jones. Jared is out there in the number 4 show. Jared Klein, the number 121. Last minute adjustments for Hinkle. Stop. Go back. Okay. Corey Bowman in the number 33. And that looks like everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Get loud for me one more time. Are you ready for the stock class? Help me out if you would. Let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Green flag flies over the stock class. All set to turn them loose. Once they got the message, they were ready to go. Here comes the number 73 going right after that Imperial. And he does so. Does the right move, too. Goes after the steer wheels, trying to knock the steering out from underneath it. In the number 73 of Andrew Myers. And it already flying in the right front corner. Red flag is out. Red flag. We got a quick stoppage. Wheel been ripped off a car already. Red flag is out. Got to get everybody rowed down. Red flag. Red flag. See how business picks up once we get back to green flag conditions. Watching the officials around the perimeter, making sure everybody's good to go. Number 58, Bronson Bogan has the right front wheel laid over pretty bad. And officials being called to the aid of Bronson Bogan right now. Emergency crews on their way over to tend to the driver in the number 58. There you can see how bad that right front wheel is laying over. So number 67, Kevin Jones. You see the back end of that whale tailing up quite a bit for him. The roof also basically doing its job, holding the back of that car down, building in a flex point for it. Let that back bumper come up to the window. Been a while since we've seen one of those run. That's the number 77. Corey Bowman driving a 68 Pontiac. One of our drivers a little shook up, but going to be all right with the looks of things. Gonna get checked over real quick in the ambulance as we get ready to go back to green flag conditions. Tough break for Whitmire right off the bat. Took an ugly shot on the right front corner. Did a good job of getting his wheels back straight so they weren't turned one direction or another when that shot came in, but it did flatten the tire, which is forcing him to push that flat corner around in that heavy Imperial. We'll have to see how that plays out. Looks like we are just about set to go. Jason's in position. All the rest of our officials are in position. It's going to be a quick countdown when we turn them back loose. 3, 2, 1, and go. Ronnie Hinkle with a big shot with the back end of the car. Almost flipped himself. Here comes the number 67, Kevin Jones, entering the fray. Going after the Malibu. Good shot delivered, and Hinkle not done yet. Going right after that number 69 of William Boyce. 73, another full track shot. They are laying some iron now. Andrew Myers, the pace really picking up now. There goes one over. Red flag is out. Red flag. Red flag. We got to roll it down. Boy, that last interval right there, they were really opening things up. We got another rollover. Got the skid steer called into duty. It was good impact, good placement, and he just went right over. I saw right there at the end of that exchange, Andrew Myers in the number 73 got himself into position. When the green flag comes back out, he is eyeing something at the far end of the track. That's a good look at the number 73 right there. Back end is packing in pretty nice for him. was Brandon Marston that delivered that hit in the 441. Push him out of the way. And now they're going to try and put the other car back over on all fours. See if he can fire it back up. And get back in the hunt for that $2,000 payday. It's reserved for the winner of the stock class. That was Jared Klein in the 121 from Broadway. They got rolled over. Crowd appreciates his effort. See what Jared does, if he's going to climb back in, and he is. He's going to try and fire it back up now. Has the potential to get a little smoky down there. That oil washed up past the cylinders, got into the header, which it did not, and he's got that car refired already, and everybody taking that cue to fire their motors up as we get ready to return to green flag conditions here in the Stock Championship at Chaos in the Valley 2018. And Brandon going to climb back into the 441. Official still looking over the Klein ride. Make sure there's no ill effects from that rollover. Last thing we want is for somebody to get hurt. So making sure there's no fuel-related problems or oil spills, and whatever they found is terminal. So that's going to end the run for that 121 of Jared Klein. The cars get tipped over like that, especially with the V8s. Stuff, all kinds of wacky stuff starts happening. Stuff starts leaking out of places it's not supposed to, pooling places not supposed to. The biggest concern is if the fuel washes out and it starts to pool on top of the intake, it can pose a pretty serious issue. So unfortunately, that is going to end the run for Jared Klein, the number 121. We've got the sticks up. All our officials are back in position once again. Quick countdown to green. 3, 2, 1, and go. Watch to see what Corey Bowman might do in that number 33. Whitmire with the Imperial. Goes after the back end of the number 77. That is over right there. Big poof of fire from underneath it, and that's going to end the day for the number 27 of Dylan Baker. That is a terminal breakdown. I think he might have broke the transmission or the back of the block perhaps. Another big shot delivered by that number 73, Andrew Meyer. Really doing some work out there. Looks like we lost Boyce, the number 69, and the number 11P also. Looks like he has run out of time. Probably not the best decision to make going nose to nose that full frame Imperial. Here comes the number 67, Kevin Jones. Red flag is out, another red flag stoppage. Another quick stop. Hinkle's got to roll it down in the number 6. Red flag, red flag. Bowman's got to stop it now too in the number 33. Jason Shipe calling that red flag. And looking around, almost seems like perhaps they're looking for a fuel leak. Perhaps traces of fuel on the ground as we see Mike Schwalm climbing out of the number 11. His night is all done. A couple of the cars starting to push some steam now. They've been out there for a little while. Radiators have been ruptured, starting to leak some water. Jared R. in the full show car, able to get that refired. Number 20 of James Gress started opening it up a little bit there at the end of that last stint before we had this red flag. Got the bumper cleared off the track. It looks like we're going to be back to green flag conditions here momentarily. Still at this point, only lost about 5 of our 17 competitors. And a little ways to go. Again, looking for the last car standing. Sticks up around the track. Short countdown, and we'll be back to green. 3, 2, 1, and go. .46 is stuck on the top of the track. That's Garrett Breeden. Here, with a head full of steam, here comes Meyer again. Wow, good shot delivered. Stick with Meyer. Noses up that number 6 of Hinkle. Hinkle in the number 6 just took the stick down. He's all done. Bunch of raw fuel now coming up through the stacks of the number 11P. That's Stephen Payne in the middle of the track. The number 77 still limping around, keeping it off the shot clock. James Spain puts on some qualifying contact. The number 20 able to refire now as well, back in the mix. Big shot, spiked the hood on the number 73. Great impact. Almost hit another one over, then shifted the body hard. They're starting to open it up now. There's nothing left of that number 73. Andrew Myers, what a show he's put on. Whitmire with a big hit in the Imperial. Bent the rear wheel on the number 73. And now 67 jumping into the mix. That's Kevin Jones. Finally spinning the left rear tire. That helps the number 81 of Kenny Critchfield. He's getting a little bit of his mobility back. The 33 of Bowman trying to refire. You can see the flames coming out from under the hood, trying to get that to fire up one more time. All that raw fuel coming through the stacks, trying to get that to start up again. It's not cooperating. 67, Kevin Jones coming back into the frame. Goes right after the back of that number 81. Rear front tire locked up on the 4 show. Whitmire having trouble in the number 59 at the top of the track. 11P takes the stick down. He's all through. That is Stephen Payne all done. Bowman has the stick down on the 33 as well. Big snarl of cars right here in the middle watching the shot clock. The 81 has taken his stick down all through. 81C, Kenny Critchfield, he's through. Flag is down on the number 77 as well. James Spain all done. 20 all through. That's James Gress, he's all done. All right there together. Kevin Jones on the shot clock. He's just about out of time. Still battling away at the top of the track now is the 4 show of Jared, the number 73 of Andrew Myers, and then Imperial of Whitmire wedged in a bad spot right now. And now Meyer electing to make a chess move right here by parking on the 4 show, makes the final hit, and also forces the number 4 to work his way out of the jam. Look at all the smoke and steam. It's got to be just about impossible to see inside the cockpit. And Whitmire starting now to work his way out. Meyer goes right after him though. Mobility severely limited. I think he's got no steering as well. The right side in all sorts of ugly shape for the 4 show. Making qualifying hits. He can't really control where he's going. He's sort of crab walking it now. Number 59 of Whitmire is close to being out of time. And there's Jason Shipe in the window, out of time for the number 59, going to the book 3rd. Heads up, Jason Shipe. Now, a different winning strategy, instead of staying down there and just beating around like that with an ailing car like Myers has, he could navigate away from the 4 show right now. There's only one other car left. Go to the opposite end and make him make the contact. By the time he got down there, theoretically his shot clock would have expired. I think that's what he's going to do. Go down there and start counting his money. The number 73 of Meyer gets some more room to work with. You see the body peeling off the frame now. It's stalled. Able to get it to refire is Jared in that number 4. And now the 73 is stalled. Myers is idle out there, and it's the number 4, thankfully lined up back to back, and he goes idle. It is quiet now on the track. The number 73 was out first. He stalled first. The 4 able to refire. Jared might end up coming away with a win in this yet. I think the number 73 refires now. Went into a pretty precarious spot, but thankfully for him, no steering, and the car hooked to the right on the number 4. Now, the 73 stalls again, trying to get it to refire. Oh, the heat bottled up in that motor. The 4 now desperately trying. He stalls it. And they both refire at the same time. They come together. The 4 has to back it up as straight as possible. The 73 of Myers may have just stalled again. That could be the winning hit. That shot could be worth $2,000 right there. Not trying to get too far away because he knows that steering issue is going to hook the car to the right. And the 73 refires. What a finish this is turning out to be. 73 barrels through the number 4. Collides with the idle number 20 of James Gress. Myers, the more mobile of the 2, makes another qualifying hit on the left rear corner. And it stalls. Now it is up to Jared, and he makes a qualifying hit, and he stalls now. Great power plant under the hood for Jared in that number 4 from Markleysburg, Pennsylvania. Refires again at the flip of a switch. That is going to do it. What a feature that turned out to be. Jared coming away with a win in the number 4. Second place going to the number 73, Andrew Myers from Friendsville, Maryland. Second place again to that number 73. They got their helmets off. Give them a big round of applause if you appreciated that show. Stock division. Knew it was going to be a good one. Third place going to David Whitmire. That Imperial will live to see another day. Tough break for him. Losing the tire on the right front at the get-go really didn't do him any favors. But nice job by our stock division. We're going to be back with a compact feature here, which has already taken shape in just a few minutes after the skid steers get our attrition taken off the track. Mark Wolf, the first one through. Looks like we got some driver changes at the 831 pulling out next. The 4430, that is Jesse Clark. 22, Alex Keaton next in line. And the number 22 should be out here momentarily. Mark Wolf going up in smoke right now. Looks like he may have. Tire came off the bead on the right front corner, and he's just sitting there spinning right now. .425 of Austin Payne coming out. We see him. That's the number 32. Scott Smith. And the 11X, Josh Wilkins. Number 229 of Derek Delator. And there again, the 425, Austin Payne. Kuykendall, the number 31. Here's the number 30. That's the 30X, Roger Mahoney. Behind him, that is the 00, Sean Kibler. Drove the wheels off that thing. Next out, Kyle Turner, the number 66. Chad Palmer in the number 377. And the number 500, Mark Snyder. .91X, 52X, both answering the feature bell. Here's the double, the 0007, Daniel LeBlanc. Michael Smith is in the black number 30. He'll be next out. That is Michael Smith. Next one that we are waiting to place. Behind him, R1, Joseph Williams. And that 611 of Dustin Breeden. Able to make it back out. And the 52X not going to be able to go. Skid steer reporting to the track to remove the number 52, it looks like. Something terminal happening right at the 11th hour. Going to take him out of this main event. We see the 18 is staged back there. One of our Consi qualifiers, Walker Cloud, able to get his car back together to come back out. Also got the number 29 staged off in the shadows. Mark Schwalm is waiting back there in the wings in the number 11, and rounding it out is going to be the number 16 of Brian Davis. So that is the number 30 pulling into position, Michael Smith. And next is that R1 of Joseph Williams. Here's the 611. Looks like we're going to get the rest of our field now. The procession into position. Going to be pretty quick now. Dustin Breeden in the 611. The number 18 coming out of the Consi. Walker Cloud. A whole bunch of cars, all with the same paint schemes. You see the R1, the 611, the 18. And then the next one in line there is that is the number 11 of Mark Schwalm, and the last car to pull into the order, Brian Davis in the number 16. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. Mod class still to come after we wrap up with the compacts. We're going to see some little cars get smashed and some big money paid out at the conclusion of this one. Jason Shipe having a quick conversation with Brian Davis. And the number 52 able to make the repairs, waiting in the wings. So he's coming out. So I'm thinking we had somewhere around 4 driver changes there as we get ready to turn these drivers loose. All of our officials beginning to take their positions around the track, and I hope their heads are on swivels. They are going to be busy keeping an eye on this one. No questions asked, waiting for the sticks to go up, and we've got another one that's having some issues on the line. This is Daniel LeBlanc in the double or the 0007. One of our officials on the radio conferring with mission control on the far side, determining if he is or isn't going to run. And everything looks good. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to see some little cars get smashed? Been a little bit of a wait, but I promise it's going to be worth it. One more time, send them off. Are you excited to see these guys wad these cars up? I know I can't wait up here. It's a big field, a lot of room to work with. Waiting for the officials to give us the high sign. A couple green flags starting to show up around the perimeter. Ready to send these compact guys off and running. Jason Shipe now coming back to his post, and he will have the final say. Sticks are up. Help me out one more time if you would for the compacts. Let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Small cars are off and running for the money. Here at Chaos in the Valley, big shot right out of the box. Hands flying out the front windshield for Chad Kuykendall in that number 31. Armstrong in that number 425 with a big shot delivered. Excuse me, that's Payne. Austin Payne in the 425 with another big shot delivered. Number 4430 of Jesse Clark got himself in a bad way down to the far end of the track. We'll see if he can back himself out of that jam. Payne has been an absolute weapon all night long in that number 425 as he goes headlong into the back of the number 11. That number 11, again, being driven by Mike Schwalm from up in Pennsylvania. Davis in the middle of the track, sitting idle in the number 16. We've also got the number 52 of Mark Wolf idle at the top of the track. The 4430 all done. The 831, which I think is the car that Travis Curtis jumped into for the feature, sitting idle now. The 91X having problems. Red flag is out. Red flag flying. Got to roll up the pace. Alex Keaton got to slow it down. 52X got to stop. Red flag. Red flag. I don't see any bumpers on the track. I'm not sure what our officials might be. There it is right there. It was back on the other side of that number 500. Mike Snyder. Got that out of the way. Officials looking the rest of the track over just to make sure. And once we get the sign to go back to green, it's going to be a short countdown. Our officials are back in position. Looks like we are just about ready to go. Sticks are up. Quick countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. Back to green flag action for the Compacts as they chase that big payday. Chaos in the Valley 2018. Judging by the cars that are sitting idle around the track, looks like we've lost about a third of the field so far. And those two blue cars working together, the 32 and the 229, trying to stay right tight close. Kibler in the 00. Back out there staying in the fray. Look at the car coming apart. Number R1, Joseph Williams, spit the right front tire. Now sparks filling that area as he hits off of the harder material in the track surface. Top hose just came off the number 52X. Alex Keaton going full track, trying to find something, getting room to work with. Big shot by the 611, Dustin Breeden doing a good job going nose to nose with that number 91, but he's hurt himself. He's got himself stuck deep in the hood of the number 91X, and now the front tires are off the ground. He needs some help from a friend. He's got a couple of them out there, the 1829, and also there was one more that was running with them. Should be able to come around and get him knocked off. The R1 also running with the number 611. Just came apart on the track. He's got CV joints pulled out. You can tell by that repeated buzz like that. There's no resistance on the drive axle. The 66 also, we got a fire developing perhaps under the hood on that number 66. Looks like it's okay at this point. I saw a couple flashing under there. Kyle Turner looks like he's going to be all done. I can't believe the run that Chad Kuykendall is having in that number 31. Great effort for Chad. Number 29, dog tracking bad, but still out there running and moving, trying to get into victory lane. Chad Kuykendall still in the mix. We've got the number 30 out there as well, still in the hunt. Michael Smith doing all right for himself. Alex Keaton being told he's got to start making hits. All backfire, nothing to worry about. Mike Schwalm still in the hunt. .229, that is Derek Delator. He's also still in the hunt, trying to fight off the wall now. Big shot right on the nose of that 229, and he just lurched forward for a split second and then stopped. So problems could be developing for the number 229, or at least getting worse. Here comes Keaton with a good lick on that right front corner of the number 29. Chad Kuykendall at the top of the track trying to get back in the fray. We are now down to our final five. Alex Keaton, number 22, Derek Delator, and the number 229, the 11 of Mike Schwalm, and the number 30, Mike Smith, all battling it out, trying to come away with the lion's share of tonight's featured purse. Alex Keaton opting to pass on the shot on the back of the Delator machine. Goes after that number 29. Still running strong is the number 22 of Keaton. Good shot right on the right side wheels. That could knock out a CV and leave the number 30 right where he sits. Let's see if he can move again after this. Field has got some separation from the 4th and 5th place runners. The number 30 of Mike Smith trying to find someone to make qualifying contact on. He does so with the number 29. That brings us back to 4 cars eligible. And the number 229 of Delator in trouble. In danger of running out of time. The car laboring so mightily that he can't quite get back to where everybody else is. As the field starts to stretch out a little bit. Try to put a shot on the drive wheel. Swing and a miss by that number 29. Tanner Cloud fighting as best he can. And the 229, Derek Delator in trouble of being timed out. And looks like he's just about as rocking. The judge is trying to do him a favor. And there it is. Tried to give him a little bit of extra time because he was rocking the car. Looked like he was almost out. Didn't matter. Ran out of sand in the hourglass. We are down to 4. And Tanner Cloud in the 29. Mike Smith, Alex Keaton, and Mike Schwalm in the number 11. Keaton with a big shot in the back end right to the blocks. That's going to leave himself exposed, though. Here comes the number 11 of Schwalm. You hear the thud as those two cars came together. Hard front bumper and the back end rolling nicely for Keaton in the number 22. Tanner Cloud could be in trouble in that number 29, having a hard time getting past the disabled car that sits there in the middle of the track. I mean, obviously the car pretty folded up as we watch the battle continue now among our top 3. 4th place right now is Tanner Cloud. He's got to make qualifying contact. Finally got the car turned around. It is laboring mightily. Big shot on the left front corner. And that shot may have knocked the drive out of the number 11 of Schwalm. Schwalm puts the shot on the left front corner, and he's all done. Keaton now in the hot seat. In the number 22, trying to refire. Busy under the dash, trying to get that to start back up. The number 29 is working on the number 11. Unfortunately, the 11 out after that shot and knocked the drive out. So, now, the number 29. That is Tanner Cloud. He's got to get around and make qualifying contact. The 11 all done. He's got to hit either the 22 or the 30, and his mobility is so limited he can't get past, but he doesn't have enough power to shove through the number 11 of Schwalm. Keaton, what a great run he had, but it looks like it has derailed for him in the number 22. We might be down to 2. The number 29, there is Tanner Cloud. The number 30, Michael Smith, nose to nose now. And Keaton refires. And that car sounds like it is running plenty strong right now. Keaton's got to keep the thing running. It sounds like it's tightening up under the hood. It's maybe even stalled on his way in. He parks on the right rear corner of the number 29. That is one of the things that Michael Smith loves to see, because now it's going to be even harder for the 29 to make qualifying contact. Likely going to run out of time here very shortly. The number 29 now, what's helping him is he's able to move. It might only be about 18 inches or 2 feet, but he's walking ahead just enough to get daylight and then backing up into the number 22 of Keaton. Keaton is still an eligible car. That is resetting the 60-second shot clock for that number 29 of Tanner Cloud. The number 30, Michael Smith, backs into the number 22, resetting his shot clock. The top three in a chess match now. There goes Keaton into the back of the number 30. He's still running the 29, just about out of time now. And the number 30, the sole focus of Alex Keaton's attention, working on that right rear corner, trying to get it to stall. Keaton is in the catbird seat. He made last aggressive contact. Tanner Cloud, great run for him. Looks like he's going to go in the record book as third place, leaving it down to our top two. Smoke now pouring from under the hood of the number 30 of Michael Smith. Keaton backs it up along with the nose starting to go away on it. You can see it shifting at the firewall. Head full of steam as he comes in and plows into the right rear corner of the number 30. Michael Smith able to keep it fired. He's got to back up and make contact on Keaton to turn the tables. Keaton, the last car with contact, limping backwards. That could be a $2,000 shot right there. The difference between first and second. Keaton has to get that number 22 to refire, and he's got to do it fast. Those seconds, precious seconds, ticking away now for Alex Keaton in the number 22. Smith backs up, another love tap. That's all that car's got. You can see the steam pouring out from under the hood, laboring mightily. Hear those high RPMs turning. It's starting to lose drive now. Things getting very bad for the number 30. If the number 22 can refire, he could steal this win away. But right now, with a checkered flag in hand, Jason Shipe approaches the number 30. And Michael Smith is going to go in the book as the winner of the Compact Championship. What a feature that turned out to be. I wouldn't have guessed that being the way that concluded in any way, shape, or form. He is now out of the car, third place, number 29 of Tanner Cloud. Fourth place is going to be Mike Schwalm in the number 11. And unofficially, fifth place is going to be Derek Delator in the number 229. There he is right there. Now it's official. Fifth place for the 229. It is all quiet down on the track. How about a big round of applause as he starts to get his helmet off for our winner. Popular win for Michael Smith in the number 30. Cheering section and full song over there as he collects first place here at Chaos in the Valley, the spring show. We're going to be back again in October the 20th for the fall event. Fifth edition of the fall show. I think this is the third time that they've had the spring derby to kickstart the Demolition Derby season here in the Valley. Those skid steers have some work to do. They're going to drag these cars off and just stack them off in the wings as the mod cars get ready to come back out here. So once again, your top five. First place, the number 30, Michael Smith. The 22, Alex Keaton. The number 29, Tanner Cloud. Fourth place going to be the number 11, Mike Schwalm. And then the number 229 of Derek Delator. And that is that number 72 that we were telling you about. That's Ira Wolf, Junior Wolf, in the number 96. Did a nice job on the body lines on that car. Ethan Anderson from Blair's Mills, PA, is in the number 67. That's the red and black Imperial. I think that's like a 1970 Imperial, maybe a little bit newer than that. Yeah. Number 20 coming out next, James Gress from McConnellsburg. That's the Dodge Polara with a subframe underneath it. This is Matt Kingery in the number 212. He's from Woodstock. And this is the guy that you need to watch, the defending champion of the fall show trying to add another win here in Woodstock. That is Brian Schumann from Carrollton, Ohio. Behind him is the number 53, Paul Joseph. He's from Dayton, Virginia. And another one to watch, the number 21, David Klein from Broadway, Virginia. The number 81 in his first start in the mod class, that is Felipe Coral from Broadway. That car is just about identical to the build that David Klein has around him in that number 21. If you look at the way that the back end is notched and shelved, the number 35 is Wyatt Schatzer. Number 12, Trenton Knight, that is Josh Orndorff from the J12. And the next one out is Bill Orndorff from the number 14 from right here in Woodstock. Mike Klinger, the white nose with a green roof sign, the 409, that is Gravedigger. Mike Klinger from Mill Creek, Pennsylvania. And the last two to pull out, the number 412 of Josh Corletto from New Alexandria, PA, and the number 007 from Pittsburgh, Joey Pernice. 16 cars scheduled, 16 cars answering the feature bell, going for $2,000 in the modified class. This is what we have all been waiting for. The headline event, what has put Chaos in the Valley on the map, is this build set, these rules, these drivers, this particular portion of the show. We've been waiting for it all day. This is how we love to start the Demolition Derby season down here in the Shenandoah Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Probably couldn't hear me over the sound of those motors. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? I like it. You got to do just a couple final quick checks, making sure everybody's got seat belts and everything in position the way that they need to be, and we will be off to the races with this mod class in just a moment. Big thank you to all the sponsors that help make this show possible. It is not an easy task. Jason and Penny Shipe and the Tom Brook Volunteer Fire Department work all year long to help make these two derbies happen. And it is not without the support of the many sponsors that they have recruited that believed in this, what they started, believed in the process, and have helped make this grow to what it is today. So huge thank you out to all the sponsors that make the Chaos in the Valley events happen. We've got just a couple last checks happening on the track, and we will go under green flag conditions for the modified feature. Just about ready to go. Sticks starting to pop up by officials around the perimeter. Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time tonight, help me out if you will. The modifieds are ready to take flight. Let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. A lot of patience in the opening moments of this modified feature. Everybody taking their time, trying to figure out what's hard and what's harder so that they don't make a bad decision early in the going here. Just watch the car shudder as they make impacts. They don't bend or move. A lot of power under the hood for Schumann and that number 86 as he shoves that number 72, Ira Jean Wolf, right to the blocks. Klinger with a big shot on the right front corner of Klein. Red flag is out. We've got a red flag situation. Got to get everybody rolled up. Red flag is out. Red flag. Just about everybody's figured it out now. Felipe Coral with a late hit. Gary Wayne Shipe's about to go beat on his roof with a stick. Kingery, the number 212, has the left rear wheel ripped right off of his number 212. Tough break for him. got that car together because he did not want to miss this event. Had to be part of it. Got that build put together so that he could run. There's a good look. Got the savers and everything that you're supposed to have, but nonetheless, it still broke right off. After his sprint to the finish, Gary Wayne comes back to his post. Sticks are up. Short countdown to go back to green. 3, 2, 1, and go. Schumann really opened it up that time for coming backwards. Here comes that big shot. What a collapsing of the roof that was. Holy cow. Buckling the right rear corner of the Mopar. Man, what a shot delivered by Gene Wolfe in that 72, just collapsing the whole right side of that Ethan Anderson's number 67. Broke the shackles, it looks like. Schumann just busted the frame on the Ira Gene Wolfe car. You see the back end way up in the air. Felipe Coyle trying to get some room to work with. Schumann, I thought Schumann was going to go after him. Holy. Red flag is out. Red flag. Still under red flag conditions. Red flag. Got to stop him. Got to stop him. Due to a safety issue, we're going to make sure that the driver, that number 72, Gene Wolfe, exits the car. He put a crazy shot on the back of Ethan Anderson, and then Schumann got a hold of him and put him to the blocks, and it buckled the frame. That was incredible. We're going to give a short countdown once we get cleared to go back to green flag conditions. Looking for the sticks up. They are all around, so that means quick countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. As we see a hose come off the number 20, James Gress from McConnellsburg. Schumann just collapsed the back on the number 67. I think that probably broke the drive shaft off the rear end on Anderson's number 67. And here is Klinger and Klein going toe-to-toe center of the track. That's the 409 and the 21 in the shoving match. Schumann almost got Coyle over. That knocked the steering out of the number 81. Left front corner collapsed now. On Coyle's number 81, Schumann has a stout piece for sure. Trent Knight just put a hard lick on the side of Corletto, and the 412 Schumann backing up with a lot of running room. Going after the front of Joey Pernice. Little bit of tire spin out of that number 67. He's not done yet, but for all intents and purposes, he's kind of already done. I mean, he's took some serious damage when he got crushed up against the wall, or crushed by that number 86 of Schumann. Problem for Pernice over there against the wall. Looks like the steering got knocked out of the front end. Red flag. Red flag is out. Red flag. Right as we came to that red flag, the left rear wheel was ripped right off of the number 409 of Mike Klinger. The left front wheel is now off and collapsing further off the number 81 of Felipe Coral. Joey Pernice out of the 007. He had a short night in the mod class, unfortunately, for Joey, towing in from Pittsburgh. Wyatt Schatzer driving the number 35 of Wade Farner tonight, trying to finish that car off. The number 20 after he lost the top hose, that's James Gress. He's still out there in his Polara. Ethan Anderson exiting the number 67. It was only a matter of time before that formality had to come to fruition. The back end of that car got absolutely rocked when Schumann came in on the back of it, and it blew the leaf springs to pieces, and it shoved the rear end right up into the back seat area. So now they're taking a look at Corletto's number 412, determine if there's perhaps a fuel issue developing on that number 412. Keeping an eye also above the 412 is the number J12, Josh Orndorff. Had a great night as a whole when we were here in the fall. Came away with a couple great finishes for himself in the stock and in the mod class, trying to do one better with a win here in the mod class tonight. But that path is going to go straight through Brian Schumann, who has established himself as a force early in the going here in the mod class. Sticks are up, ready to go. Short countdown, 3, 2, 1, and go. David Klein right into the driver's door. Corletto bringing the fight to the 21. Schumann goes after the 412. Action everywhere on the track right now. Coral, despite having the back end or the left front corner falling apart, still in the mix. Locking horns with that number 53. That is Paul Joseph. Looks like James Gress might be all done in that teal Polara, sitting in the middle of the track. He's idle. Also, something's happened to David Klein's car. Steam seeping out of the front of the machine, and it's not doing a whole lot for him right now. So something has gone awry in the number 21. Also watching the number 53, the 53 of Paul Joseph. He's on the clock. The 409 of Klinger got himself stuck on the 007 of Pernice. We're going to have to see if somebody can come and knock him free. Coral now completely losing that left front corner. 53 of Paul Joseph takes the stick down. He is all done. His run in the mod feature has ended. And time has expired on David Klein. David Klein is all done in the number 21 with the looks of things. Waiting for the official word. Red flag is out. Another red flag stoppage. I think they're going to go out there and talk to David Klein, perhaps. Corralling the front wheel off of the left front corner of Felipe Coral. In that number 81, that shot early on broke the bottom of the control arm and let the wheel fall up into the wheel well. The whole left side of the car then sank. You'd see sparks coming off of the bead protector inside the quarter panel on the left side. The wheel now completely coming off, and he's pretty effectively sunk where he is right now. He's been trying to fight his way out. There was a brief conversation between one of our officials and David Klein in that number 21. I trust that at the minimum they're telling him to pick up the pace. Watching closely what happens with the 409 when the green flag comes back out. See if Klinger has been timed out yet or not. He ended up getting hung up there shortly after the number 21. Had his issues with ignition or something going on there in the middle of the track. Watching around the track for the 6 to come up as we move towards the conclusion of our mod feature. Short countdown, 3, 2, 1, and go. Looks like we've lost the number 96 now, Junior Wolf. Corletto now getting himself into the top 5 with that shot, nose up in the air, and looking for the blocks. He's got to get out of that jam because that'll take the front end out. Here comes Josh Orndorff going after. Tire goes down with that impact. Big thing at this point in the Derby is everybody still has steering. Is who still has steering. Everyone at this point still does. The Fords are the ones that you're watching to potentially lose that steering ability. And there are at least 3 of them that could fall into that trap. The J12 of Orndorff, the number 14 of Billy Orndorff, and the 412 of Corletto. These cars aren't moving at all. So well put together, just expertly built, and they are vicious. And that is one of those shots that could take out the steering, and we'll see what happens to Corletto after that. Bumper right on the tire. The steering still responding for Corletto after Schumann, full track right underneath the front bumper, got on those tires. The steering components held together. Now Billy Orndorff kind of acting as a blocker, limiting the options for Corletto getting out of the corner as the battle. Josh Orndorff taking it right to Brian Schumann. These two had a heck of a fight a couple months ago. We were here in the fall. Corletto can't seem to get out of there. Wow, that shot on the doors just buckled the back end of Trenton Knight's number 12. And the rear end is now breaking free on the number 12 of Trenton Knight. You see the leaf springs. The only thing holding that rear end in place is buckling ugly. And here comes Schumann looking to finish the job. And it broke the whole rear end out from underneath that number 12. Quick red flag. Can't believe the back end of Trenton Knight's car. That's the number 12. There's a good look at it. He took one shot on the right rear corner when he went into Schumann, and it buckled everything. And then he took another shot, and it knocked the left side loose. And then the final shot that he just took a moment ago, it annihilated the back end of Knight's number 12. Now officials out there looking. Obviously the concern is for his own safety. He wants to make sure that we don't put him in a situation that could become dire in that number 12. So officials making a determination to take the stick down or not. I think looks like the stick is already down. Probably did some damage in terms of the drive line when that back end buckled the way that it did. So Trenton Knight going to go in the books 5th place overall here in the mod feature. Brian Schumann in the 86 still out there. Billy Orndorff in the number 14. Josh Orndorff in the 12. And Josh Corletto in the number 412. Corletto from Pittsburgh. Schumann from Carrollton, Ohio. And the 14 and the 12, both from right here in Woodstock. Waiting for our officials to show they are ready to go. Sticks up in the air. Short countdown. 3, 2, 1. Green flag. Go. Trying to get out of that soft spot. We've seen a couple other cars get stuck in the sippy hole. Schumann, big shot on the back of Josh Orndorff there in the number J12. Schumann just driving the wheels off that thing, trying to get himself unstuck. Corletto stuck in a little bit of a sippy hole in that J12, trying to work himself free. There's a lot of liquid also pouring out from underneath that car, it looks like. Some shiny reflection. As deep as that clay is, thought perhaps a side shot might have knocked the steering out of it, and is trying to work himself free. Nobody's able to come to his rescue. Something is hanging loose on the front of that car. It could be a fan that was mounted on the back of the radiator. Corletto, tons of power. Is he trying to get the back end of the number 14 up on the blocks? And here comes the 14 of Billy Orndorff going right after Corletto in the number 412. Orndorff probably making the wise move to not go after him. Wow! Way up in the air, and there goes Orndorff. We've got the red flag lights on. Red flag is out. Red flag. Not sure if we're going to stop this or not. He just moved 2 rows of cinder blocks. That was amazing. We got a red flag. Red flag situation. Red flag, red flag. Billy Orndorff way up on the blocks. That moved about 8 of those giant concrete blocks with that shot. That was impressive. And, you know, that was a little bit of the who swings the bigger bat too, because Corletto had tried that a couple times, and Schumann came along and just mashed the gas and shoved that car up on those blocks like it was nothing. So again, we'll come back to a question of safety with those blocks moved the way that they are, but at the same time, we've also got the issue of a shot clock that you need to keep in mind, that the number 14 was stuck up on top of there, and he would have to free himself by taking him down off of there, would put him back into the Derby. So we got to make that decision as well. We've seen stuff like this before, and I get the conversation of safety, but I think it's highly unlikely that anybody's going to come along and tattoo Billy at this point, and if they do, it's going to shove him the rest of the way up onto those blocks before it's going to take a lot to get that car over those blocks or off of them and into the crowd standing behind it. So again, that conversation's still ongoing down there trackside as we are down to potentially our final two, unless something crazy happens and Billy is able to free himself from that spot. The thing that I'm looking at right now is the right front tire of Schumann's number 86. That car is super heavy. He's carrying a lot of mass with him. We know that corner is a little bit soft. It's already gobbled up the number J12 of Josh Orndorff. Does he have enough to get out of that soft stuff before Corletto comes and buries him with one more shot? Corletto potentially one good shot away from burying, high centering basically the number 86. We'll have to see how it plays out. The sticks are up. We are ready to go. Short countdown with me one more time if you would. 3, 2, 1, and go. And Schumann trying to work his way out of there. Corletto picked the shot well. He timed it great. And they're getting on him for a door shot. There's been like 6 door shots through the course of the event out here in the mod class. Taking what's given. Schumann doing a nice job of working his way out of this, but got to be careful, starting to get awful deep. He's trying to back his way out. Corletto being relentless, staying right on top of him, not giving him any room to work with. And Corletto thankfully still has the steering to work with. And Corletto backs away. And that potentially could be it. Corletto backs away, content to let the shot clock expire. Some good track awareness right there, using the tools that were available to him. Burying that number 86, great run, Brian Schumann, and he's got to be in the running for Mad Dog for this one. Has to be in the conversation for Mad Dog. He probably took out 4 or 5 cars by himself in that car. Doesn't look like it's too awful hurt. I imagine we'll probably see that thing back when we come back October 20th for Chaos in the Valley, the 5th edition of the fall show. When we get back here, and checkered flag in hand, Josh Corletto has exited the car. The helmet's off. I think he can probably hear you. Let Josh Corletto know what you think about his run in the number 412. Your feature winner in the mod class, Josh Corletto in the 412. Second place to Brian Schumann. Great run for Brian. Got stuck in that soft stuff, and then after that, Corletto just kept laying on him. Checkered flag formality now flies over the number 412. That is going to do it for Chaos in the Valley Spring Show, setting up our run through the Demolition Derby season here in the Shenandoah Valley. Excited to have all of you along. We appreciate it. We also appreciate all the sponsors that helped make this happen and all the safety personnel that was here to make sure that there was no major issues as a whole. Kept everybody safe. Greatly appreciate that. Again, these derbies are held as a fundraiser for Townsboro Volunteer Fire Department. Help raise funds for them to buy the equipment that they need. Continue to support them. We certainly do appreciate it. And also a reminder that we've got next weekend that high school rodeo. $10 to get in the door. Kids under 9 are free. It is a full-blown rodeo, both Friday night and Saturday night, 7 o'clock start time both nights. Bull riding, calf roping, barrel racing, you name it, they've got it. High schoolers, it's kind of like AAU basketball where there's this whole governing body and follows gives these kids the opportunity at a young age to experience what a rodeo is all about, and probably going to get them hooked for life, just like we did with some of these support divisions that you saw here through the course of our evening together. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out and supporting this show. That is going to do it for us. I am Chris Marquardt with the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast. We air live Monday nights from Seneca Falls at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York, talking about Demolition Derby every Monday night at 6 o'clock Eastern. We also do live streams of Demolition Derbies all over. This event will be loaded to Finger Lakes One's YouTube page, so you can go back and relive all the action at Chaos in the Valley. That is going to do it for us. Jake Sherman helping us out on the camera work. Greatly appreciate that. He's a promoter of Road Rage Entertainment. Their derby's coming up soon, June the 2nd. So we hope to see some of you folks there. Thank you so much for coming. Drive safe going home. We'll see you back here October 20th when we're back for Chaos in the Valley.
Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.